Did you know that some of the greatest treasures in ancient times weren't made of gold, but of words and wisdom? Today, we're diving into the top 10 great libraries of the ancient world, where precious scrolls and tablets molded civilizations. Get ready for stories of lost knowledge, daring pursuits of truth, and the grand halls that once housed it all. Number 10. The Library of Ebla. Imagine a lost city in ancient Syria where clay tablets full of diplomatic affairs, trade records, and mythological texts were carefully stored, preserving snapshots of life around 2500 BCE. The library in Ebla was a testament to how even the earliest civilizations valued the written word. Researchers who discovered these tablets were stunned by their detail, glimpses of everyday life, royalty, and even religion. Each fragment told a mini-story, like a puzzle piece from a civilization long forgotten by time. The adrenaline rush? Realizing that Ebla's scribes meticulously cataloged thousands of tablets, ensuring they'd be found millennia later. It's almost like they wanted their voices heard across ages. As these tablets come to light, the journey of deciphering ancient Sumerian or Ablate scripts feels like a quest for buried treasure. We can only imagine how it must have felt walking through the clay-walled chambers back then, hearing the scribes inking wet clay, capturing history that would echo into modern research labs. Number 9. The Temple of Edfu's Library. Venture into the heart of ancient Egypt. The Temple of Edfu, dedicated to the falcon god Horus, held more than just spiritual significance. It housed a library that included religious texts, healing manuals, and possibly scrolls detailing architectural marvels. Picture tall columns with hieroglyphics, flickering torches revealing rows of papyrus scrolls, and priests reading quietly in corners. This library wasn't merely for reading, it was a vault of religious power. Priests and scholars believed that words carried divine energy, so each inscription needed absolute precision. Mistakes could offend the gods. But that high-stakes environment fueled a meticulous approach that made Edfu's archives stand out. Though we've uncovered only pieces of its collection, every discovery hints at the grandeur of what once was a living beacon of culture and faith. Number 8. The Library of Ashurbanipal. Now, fast forward to the Assyrian Empire. Located in the ancient city of Nineveh, present-day Iraq, King Ashurbanipal's library is often touted as the first systematically organized library in recorded history. Imagine thousands of tablets carefully arranged by topic, ranging from astronomy to royal decrees. This was King Ashurbanipal's intellectual playground. But the real excitement was the king's personal passion. He wasn't satisfied with local works alone. He dispatched scribes to collect tablets from across Mesopotamia, essentially building an empire of knowledge. The result? A collection so thorough that later generations found the famous Epic of Gilgamesh preserved among its shelves. Though Nineveh eventually fell, the clay tablets survived beneath the rubble, waiting to whisper their tales of heroic epics in daily life. Number 7. The Library of Athens. In the bustling polis of ancient Athens, learning was practically a civic duty. While not as grandiose in scale as some others on our list, the Library of Athens played a major role in shaping the city's golden age. Philosophers such as Plato and Aristotle contributed to the intellectual environment that embraced dialogues, plays, and political treatises. Imagine strolling through the city when dramatic plays were performed at the Theater of Dionysus, or when Socratic discussions filled the air. The library itself, while smaller compared to others, held a dynamic collection. Citizens and scholars could reference plays by Euripides or treatises by Democritus. Even though physical traces of this library are sparse today, its role in catalyzing democracy, philosophy, and art remains undeniable. Number 6. The Royal Library of Antioch. Antioch, once a vibrant center of Hellenistic culture, boasted a royal library that attempted to rival others in the Greek world. It was a cultural crossroads where Persian, Greek, and local Syrian influences blended. Scholars estimate that it hosted scrolls covering everything from geometry to local myths. Visitors might have walked into a grand hall filled with light from open courtyards, columns aligning the walls, and shelves bursting with scrolls. A highlight? the library's openness to foreign scholars, encouraging cultural exchange and debates that shaped the region's philosophical and scientific growth. Though wars and shifting empires eventually left this jewel overshadowed, echoes of Antioch's library continue in the fragments and references found in surviving texts from neighboring cities. Number 5. The Library of Celsus at Ephesus. Standing in modern-day Turkey, the Library of Celsus is an architectural masterpiece as much as it was a repository of knowledge. Built to honor the Roman senator Tiberius Julius Celsus, this library once stored up to 12,000 scrolls in niches along its walls. A hidden chamber behind the shelves protected the papyrus rolls from humidity and temperature changes. What sets it apart? The dramatic facade. Towering columns, intricately carved statues, and a two-story layout that gave visitors a sense of stepping into a palace of wisdom. Even though earthquakes and the toll of time left much of it in ruins, enough remains to make visitors gasp at its former grandeur. You can almost hear faint whispers of scholars discussing geometry and medicine in its marble halls. Number 4. The Serapeum of Alexandria. A daughter institution to the more famous Great Library of Alexandria, the Serapeum was dedicated to Serapis, a fusion of Greek and Egyptian religious traditions. Envision a majestic temple in Roman Egypt, complete with Greek columns, Egyptian motifs, and scholarly spaces to read or copy scrolls. The Serapeum offered an overflow location for the Great Library when it could no longer house all its volumes. Though overshadowed by its parent, the Serapeum had an identity of its own. Philosophers from different schools would gather here, forging discussions that bridged cultures. Even as political upheavals shook the region, the Serapeum left an enduring mark on intellectual history, standing as proof that thirst for knowledge transcends cultural boundaries. Number 3. The Library of Pergamum. If there was ever a fierce rivalry in ancient times that advanced knowledge, it was between the Library of Pergamum and the Great Library of Alexandria. Located in what is now Bergama, Turkey, this library allegedly boasted around 200,000 volumes, an astonishing number for that era. It was so influential that it gave its name to parchment, known in Latin as pergamenum, because Pergamum's locals perfected a new form of writing material when papyrus supplies were scarce. But it wasn't just about the scrolls. Pergamum featured reading rooms, lecture halls, and intricate architecture. Scholars visited from across the Hellenistic world, nurturing intellectual cross-pollination. The legend goes that Mark Antony even gifted many of Pergamum's scrolls to Cleopatra for the Great Library of Alexandria, symbolizing how these epicenters of learning both competed and collaborated. Number 2. The Imperial Library of Constantinople. Though founded in late antiquity, 4th century CE, the Imperial Library of Constantinople quickly rose to become one of the greatest medieval libraries, bridging the ancient and medieval worlds. Located in the heart of what became the Byzantine Empire, it safeguarded Greek and Roman literature and expanded to include Christian texts. This library wasn't just for show, it was a fortress of preservation. When Western Europe entered periods of instability, Constantinople's scribes diligently copied ancient manuscripts, shielding them from oblivion. The library's significance can't be overstated. Many classical works we know today survived thanks to its scribes. Though it faced multiple setbacks, fires, raids, and eventual conquest, the spirit of that library endures in the manuscripts that found new homes in the West. Number 1. The Great Library of Alexandria. No list of ancient libraries is complete without the Great Library of Alexandria. Founded in the early 3rd century BCE by the Ptolemaic dynasty in Egypt, this repository of wisdom was legendary. Its mission? Collect every piece of written knowledge in the world. Greek, Egyptian, Persian, Hebrew. No scroll was turned away. Picture miles of shelves, reading rooms filled with philosophers, scientists, and mathematicians engaged in lively debates, and a dedicated team of scribes copying incoming scrolls. Many of history's luminaries graced its halls. Eratosthenes measured Earth's circumference, Euclid organized the fundamentals of geometry, and Archimedes explored mathematics and engineering. The great library's downfall remains surrounded by myth. Whether through fires, multiple conflicts, or gradual decline, most of its precious scrolls have vanished. But its influence on civilization is immeasurable. It stands as an eternal emblem of humankind's quest for knowledge, beckoning us to remember how priceless libraries are for preserving our collective heritage. It's mind-blowing to think how many ideas, inventions, and innovations blossomed thanks to these hubs of learning. Each scroll or tablet was a piece of humanity's puzzle. Even though time took its toll, we still uncover shards of ancient wisdom, reminding us that knowledge, once ignited, never truly fades away. If these stories of ancient libraries lit a spark in you, give this video a thumbs up to let us know you enjoyed the journey. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell, because we have plenty more historical deep dives and surprising facts on the way. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.